won't let Destro's treacherous assassination of my character go unchallenged, will you?
Certainly not. Destro forgot to mention your frequent displays of cowardice.
Ah!
Your Cobra's cast!
Inept, insufficient.
Coming up on Crossfire Collectibles, the G.I. Joe Classified Series Retro Collection, Dr. Mindbender. Stick around. What's up and welcome to Crossfire Collectibles. Today's video, we are going to be opening and reviewing Figure 3 of the new Retro Collection series, and this is the G.I. Joe Classified Series Retro Collection, Dr. Mindbender. So, there's not much to this one. You get one new edition from what I noticed and a few minor changes, but we do get them on a retro card. It's a little bit more easier to obtain now, so anyone who didn't get the exclusive can get this version at quite a reduction in price. And you get some, cut accessories, but you still get most of the original stuff. So, we're going to go ahead and take a look at it. So here you see on the vintage card, you have the artist render of Dr. Mindbender right there with that digital blast in the back. Figure inside of his plastic dungeon. You see the accessories he comes with. Around to the back, you have a shot of the file card. Feel free to pause that if you'd like to read it. Down at the bottom, you have the pictures of the other figures in the wave. Dr. Mindbender, Rock and Roll, and the Cobra Viper. There's the UPC if you need it. So, I always got to talk about how these cards stand. I love it. It's great. So, without further ado, we're going to go ahead and pop it open. But first, please subscribe to the channel. So, G.I. Joe Classified Series Retro Collection Wave is done. After this one, then we just got to await the new wave. So, we'll see when they're coming in. I believe scheduled date was in June, if I'm not mistaken, but I could be wrong. It is YoJo June, so gotta wait to hear the new announcements that are coming, hopefully from Pulse this month, and pretty excited to hear what's coming. All right, everything out. Gonna stand that off to the side. Get rid of our crap. Here's the figure and the accessories. Apart from that, we get his Retro Collection Cobra stand. You got that black gloss finish, Cobra logo on it, 2 pegs to stick into the bottom of the figure's feet. And then now for Mindbender and all his accessories, we're going to go ahead and pop them out one by one, and then we'll go over each of them. Alright, so here's the figure and all the accessories out of the packaging. We're going to go ahead and bring our stand over, and we're going to go ahead and plug Mindbender onto it. He doesn't feel too stable, and with those curved up feet, he kind of likes to tip forward a bit. So we're going to go ahead and get him in a stable position and just plug those feet right on into the stand. We'll look over the figure last, so we'll set him to the back, and we're going to go over the accessories. So first up, these are all redo for the accessories that we got with the first Mindbender, and here is a vintage style electric prod. So you get that in all black. You have that chrome silver metallic edge down here. There's a hole in the end, so you can put it at blast effect if you liked. There's this peg in the back that you could plug into his tube. Next, we have a modern style electric prod. Kind of similar, but a bit different. You see it does have the black stock and handle. More detail up on the front here on the silver metallic piece. You have some more edgings and some ridges, a couple of tubes running along. Hole at the end of this for a blast effect as well. And you have that peg in the back to plug into the tube. Then here you have the generator. So this will power the electric prods. So this will peg onto the figure's side, around his belt, and this piece into the other end of the tube. Very basic. Same thing we got as the last version. Oh, there we go. Next up, we have this little syringe injector. So all black. You have the little medicine vial up on the top here. That's done in a silver metallic. So pretty basic and simple with this as well. Not much to it. Another reuse. And then we have his pistol. Same pistol as last time, all black. A few details on it. Hole at the end of the barrel for a blast effect. And then our final accessory, we do have the tube. So this will connect one end to the generator and the other end to either or of the electric prods. So with that said, we'll go ahead and bring in Mindbender, remove the stand, and we'll check out the figure here. So he is just a basic repaint. Same figure as the former. A few new additions to it. Down here on the boots, right underneath that knee, you have that metallic silver band. Those weren't on the other Mindbender figures. It looks like the belt plastic is a bit more shinier and not as matte as the last. Over to these forearm guards, it looks like they're a little more silvery, so not as dulled out as the last. Apart from that, I think everything else looks the same. More silver here. He's got the purple armbands. Around to the back, that's one of the new additions I am noticing, is they gave him the Cobra logo on the back of his cape here, so we didn't get that with the former, so that's a nice new addition. I think the lens in his monocle, it looks a little more clearer. I thought the last one had a bit of a dulliness to it, but apart from that, I don't see any more differences. There's a bit more gloss in some of the accessories on him, but apart from that, there's not too much. The black around here as well, the purple, yeah, not much to it. So let's go ahead and check out his articulation. The head is on a ball joint and can rotate a full 360. He can look down that far, up that far, and a little bit of side to side rocking. You do have some range of motion down in the neck feature as well. Over at the arms, you have butterfly joints right there at the shoulders. That hinge will allow his arm to come up about that far. You have bicep rotation. The arms can rotate a full 360. You have a double jointed pinless elbow. You have that hand rotation, can rotate full 360, and the hand is attached by that hinge peg, so it will allow the hand to move down that far and angle up that far. Coming to the torso, he does have an ab crunch, so he can go about that far forward, and he can angle about that far back. His shoulder straps don't restrict the figure too much, so that's a plus. The belt is connected at the waist, so we can't really do much with that. Around the back, the cape, you can remove it, so simply pull that around his arms and you can remove that. So down to the waist of the figure, he has a swivel left and right. He also has a little bit of mobility to allow him to rock around left and right, back and forth. So down to the waist, there's his cod piece. It's all attached with that belt that runs down here to the drop leg holster. The legs itself, up at the hips, you have drop leg right there. We're gonna go ahead and check out the left one since that one's attached. So drop leg on this side, leg can come forward that far, back that far, and out to the side about that far. You have thigh rotation, a double jointed pinless knee. You have calf rotation at the top of that boot right here. I like those extended knee pads coming up over from the boots. And then down along the long black boot to the ankle, you have a hinge to allow the foot to go that far forward, that far up, and side to side pivot. Down on the bottom of the feet, 2 holes to plug into the pegs on the stand. And we'll go ahead and plug him back in now. So there we go. And now we're gonna go ahead and gear him up. So we'll bring in his pistol and we'll go ahead and slide that right into his holster right here. We'll gear this one up a bit. I don't believe I did that with my last Mindbender. And one of the things I'm kind of curious about is why didn't we get any extra hands with him? I don't think we needed 2 trigger grip hands. We could have got maybe some more additions. I thought, you know, they should have mixed it up a bit. But just in case, we're gonna go ahead and give him that syringe hand on this side. And then we'll go ahead and lift his cape up and peek where the generator is gonna go on his belt, and it will go right there. And we will just pry that up there a bit. And we'll bring our cape back down. So it'll stick a little out the back, but it's not too much. Then we'll go ahead and we'll take our tube and we'll plug one end into the side right here. And then we can run it around the back and up around the figure here. And I'm gonna give him his modern prod. So we'll go ahead and plug that in right here. And we'll bring this up, kind of angle that arm a bit, and get that grip into his hand. finger through the trigger guard right there. And we lost our tube in the process, so we'll bring that back up and plug that in. Like that. And there we go. It is mostly finished for that part. Alright. So there we have that. So the figure looks great. I do have a couple extra accessories that are third party I'm going to add on to it. But I'll explain that with one of the next comparisons. But with that being said, we're going to go ahead and give you a few comparisons now. So here's our first comparison. Along with this Retro Collection Wave, here is Dr. Mindbender with the Cobra Viper. Here he is with the Retro Collection Rock and Roll. And then here he is side by side with the PulseCon exclusive Dr. Mindbender here. So you can see not much difference in the figures themselves. Exact same molds. They get the exact same accessories. With this one, as I mentioned, you can see he doesn't have the silver bands around his boots. This version does. There's a few color, alterations, not much in it. Purple looks a little darker on the former, a bit more vibrant and brighter on the new. I think the eyes look better on the new as well, a little bit more detail in the eyebrows. A little bit duller of the silver accessory parts over here as well as on here. They're a bit lighter. You don't have the Cobra logo on the back of his cape here. But one of the accessories I mentioned, which is actually two accessories, I gave him the Cobra lapels. So we have them on the former version. I'm actually going to take them and put them onto this one because I think it'll look a bit better. And that should complete a Mindbender once we have them ready for display. So there you have some comparisons. Alright, so now we're going to go ahead and throw our lapels onto the new Mindbender, get him tossed up onto the turntable, and we'll give you some final thoughts.
G.I. Joe will return after these messages.
Attention, I'm Sergeant Slaughter from G.I. Joe, the real American hero. Crossfire Collectibles. And you better watch.
And knowing is half the battle. Yo, Joe.
Now, back to G.I. Joe.
Alright, so here you have it. The G.I. Joe Classified Series Retro Collection Dr. Mindbender. And not much to it. I mean, it is a nice upgrade. The figure looks a little bit better. I like the more vibrant paints they added to him. I like some of the additions to the accents on the costume itself. The main thing was probably the addition of the Cobra logo on the back of his cape. We didn't get that with the last version, so I was glad to see that upgrade included. Of course, we didn't get all the exclusive stuff, all those beakers and other stuff, the skull and all that we got with the exclusive version. But we did get the modern and retro versions of the electric prod. We did get the generator, a pistol, and the syringe. Figure overall, I think he's great. He stands well, except for those little curved toes. Little bit of stability issues, but a good thing they gave him a stand, so it helps him to keep that balance a little bit better. And now I, of course, had to add my Cobra lapels to the figure up here. So I plucked them off of my last version and threw them on here just to give the figure a little bit more definition of character. I think it makes him look better, and overall, it looks good. So this is definitely my replacement that'll be taking the spot of the last exclusive version we had. I can throw him back in his box and go and store him away for a rainy day. But that'll conclude this wave of the Retro Collection G.I. Joe figures from Hasbro, and we can't wait to get the next one. So I hope you guys enjoyed what you saw. If you did, please, like always, leave that giant thumbs up, subscribe, tickle that bell so you're notified when we post future videos. Be sure to follow us on social media, and until then, we will see you in the next one. Peace.